Ever click on something online promising, the next big income breakthrough, the one that's
Yeah.
finally going to stick,
Oh, definitely.
only to find yourself, well, back at square one again? It's a familiar feeling for many, I'm sure.
Absolutely. That sense of constantly searching for a reliable online income stream.
hmm
It's a really common thread we see.
Well, today on the deep dive, we're looking into the experiences of people who are currently exploring MyLeadGenSecret,
Yeah.
or MLGS.
Right.
And what's really fascinating is understanding what they've tried before landing here. What were the obstacles? Why didn't their past online income attempts work out?
Exactly. It's not just about, say, understanding MIGS itself. It's more about the journey that brings people to look for new solutions, the whole history of their efforts, and frankly, the frustrations they've hit along the way.
And to get a handle on this, we've been looking closely at an open source research project focused on MLGS.
hmm
There's this one really insightful piece called Past Attempts and Why They Often Failed that we're really digging into today.
Think of it as trying to uncover the stories behind that search for online success. What really happened?
Yeah. So our aim, our mission, if you like, is to pull out the core lessons from these past experiences.
We want to identify those typical roadblocks people face when trying to make money online and maybe see how those past experiences shape their current views and their hopes for something different this time.
Okay, so one of the clearest things that jumped out from this research is that, well, most people checking out MLGS aren't total newcomers to making money online.
Not at all.
They've usually experimented with several different things already, often without getting the results they were hoping for.
That's such a key point. These aren't necessarily beginners in the online world. They bring a history, a history of trying stuff.
Which means they also bring expectations and maybe some baggage, some disappointments.
Exactly. And when we look at what those past attempts were, affiliate marketing and drop shipping, they come up quite a bit.
Yeah, they're often pushed as the go-to starting points, aren't they, for anyone wanting to earn online?
They are. They're really popular entry points, often seen as like low barrier, high reward potential. But the research highlights a pretty sobering reality. The success rates for newcomers, quite low, actually.
Wow, are we talking?
Well, we're seeing figures suggesting that a huge majority, maybe 90–95% of new affiliate marketers don't really get significant success. They end up quitting.
Mhm.
And dropshipping, it seems to have similar hurdles for those just starting out.
Wow, 95% failure. That's significant.
It really is.
So what were the common stumbling blocks for them? In affiliate marketing and dropshipping, the research points to a few key themes, right?
It does. One big one seems to be just underestimating the sheer amount of work and the specific skills needed.
Right. It's clearly not just setting up a basic website and boom, the sales roll in.
Definitely not. There's often this big gap between the advertised simplicity, the easy button idea, and the actual grind involved in building a real business.
Right.
Many are drawn in by that idea of quick profits. Like the research mentioned, people seek quick riches instead of playing the long game.
And when that fast money doesn't just appear,
Discouragement sets in pretty quickly, and then they often just move on to the next thing that looks easier.
the classic shiny object syndrome. It's so common online, isn't it?
It really is that tendency to jump from one promising method to another without really, giving any single one the time and focus it needs to actually work.
It's like you're constantly starting over from scratch.
Yeah, it creates this cycle of perpetual beginnings. You never quite build a solid foundation. And the psychology behind it is interesting, that pull of novelty, the hope that this new thing, this will be the magic bullet.
Mm. Okay, so besides affiliate marketing and drop shipping, another common path many of these folks have tried is MLMs, right? Multi-level marketing.
Or network marketing, yeah. Various programs could be anything from health supplements, wellness products, even some crypto-based schemes we saw mentioned.
And these models, they usually rely heavily on recruitment for income, don't they?
That's typically a primary driver, yes. And the research suggests that many who tried this route, they actually ended up spending more money than they earned
Spending on what?
on the products themselves, maybe mandatory purchases or on training materials, seminars, even buying leads sometimes, more going out than coming in.
Ouch. And there's also that uncomfortable side of it, potentially burning through your personal network, friends, family, trying to get them to join or buy stuff.
That can definitely strain relationships, absolutely. It leads to social awkwardness, maybe even burnout for the person doing the recruiting.
So the fact that MLGS is about providing leads, that could be a big draw for someone who's been through that MLM experience.
It could be a significant point of interest, yeah, because it
It is.
potentially offers a solution to that very specific and often difficult challenge they faced before the need to constantly find new people themselves.
Makes sense. Then we get to the whole world of online courses promising secrets and
Oh,
shortcuts.
yes, the gurus.
Things like, becoming an overnight Amazon FBA millionaire or using automated crypto trading bots or even just spending hours doing online surveys for pennies.
Right. And the typical pattern there seems to be this initial burst of enthusiasm. It's fueled by these, let's be honest, often exaggerated claims in the course sales pages or from the people promoting these tricks.
But then reality hits.
But then reality hits, yeah. The initial excitement often fades pretty fast when they bump up against the practical challenges.
Like with Amazon FBA, for example.
Could be dealing with really complex logistics, finding reliable suppliers, intense competition driving prices down, or just razor-thin profit margins after all the fees. It's often not as simple as it looks.
And online surveys. We've all seen those ads.
Yeah, and as many find out, they rarely pay anything substantial for the time you put in. It's definitely not a path to significant income for most people.
And the research touches on something really critical here, too, just the sheer volume of information out there, information overload.
Yes, that's a huge one. It's like everyone's shouting about a different best strategy.
So people end up feeling lost, confused.
Completely lost, overwhelmed. As the research puts it, these leads often struggle with information overload, feeling overwhelmed by the vast array of online business advice. Just too many options, too much noise.
That constant flood of information and often contradictory advice, it can lead to a kind of paralysis, can't it?
It absolutely can. People get so caught up researching the perfect strategy that they never actually, take consistent action on any one thing.
Always searching, never really doing. That's a big hurdle, this constant seeking without proper implementation.
So putting it all together, what's the overall impact of all these failed attempts? It sounds, well, pretty discouraging.
It is, absolutely. The main theme that really comes through is just a lack of tangible results.
Despite the effort. Despite the effort, exactly. They invest their time, their energy, sometimes their savings. They just don't see the returns they were promised or hoped for. No significant sales, maybe ad campaigns that barely break even or even lose money. It's understandably frustrating.
The research uses some strong words here, talking about how they've poured blood, sweat, and tears into things, and how seeing zero commissions day after day was pretty soul-destroying. You really feel the emotional toll.
Oh, for sure. Those repeated setbacks, they can definitely leave people feeling jaded, skeptical, wary of the next promise.
But interestingly, the research also notes it can make them more determined.
Yes, determined not to repeat those same mistakes. They've learned things, gained valuable insights, even if it was through painful experience.
Right. Which brings us nicely to the underlying reasons why these past efforts so often didn't work out. If we try to boil it down, what are the key factors?
Okay, well, one that really stands out is those unrealistic expectations we talked about.
The easy money dream.
Exactly. That myth is incredibly persistent online. Many are kind of led to believe they can just set something up once, and the money will just flow in passively.
Without grasping the reality of the consistent effort needed.
Precisely. They often don't fully appreciate the dedication required day in, day out to build something sustainable, especially with models like affiliate marketing. The initial idea clashes hard with the daily grind.
And then there's just a fundamental lack of the right knowledge or skills, isn't there?
Huge factor. You can't just jump into online marketing cold and expect to succeed without understanding the basics.
Like what?
Like how to write copy that actually persuades people, how to generate traffic, get eyes on your offer, how to choose a profitable niche in the first place, even basic website design principles.
So newbie mistakes, essentially.
Lots of newbie mistakes, yeah. Ineffective websites, targeting the wrong people, maybe not having proper guidance. Good intentions just aren't enough sometimes.
And unfortunately, the research also mentions, well, outright scams or just really poor advice from so-called gurus.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Investing time, money, hope based on promises that turn out to be misleading or just plain false. That must be incredibly disheartening.
It really erodes trust, doesn't it? Makes people super cautious about the next opportunity.
Understandably so. They develop a sort of built-in radar for hype, for anything that sounds too good to be true, because they've been burned before.
But maybe one of the biggest, most fundamental problems they hit was simply not having anyone to sell to. No audience, No leads.
Bingo. That's often the core issue. You can have the world's best product, the most amazing affiliate offer, but if you don't have a consistent flow of interested people, potential customers, it's all for nothing.
Dead in the water.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this is where, as the research points out, something like MLGS becomes potentially appealing.
Because it focuses on the leads.
Because its main proposition, providing leads directly, seems to, quote, tackle exactly the problem that stopped them before. It directly addresses that critical piece, the audience that so many struggled to build themselves.
It really paints a picture of a challenging, often frustrating journey for a lot of people trying to make it online.
It does, and that statistic mentioned in the research, it's quite stark.
The 95% one.
Yeah, that an estimated 95% of affiliate marketers fail to ever make significant profit. It really sounds like the people now looking at MLGS have likely lived that reality firsthand.
They're coming into this new exploration with that history then. A history of trying hard, but also of disappointment.
Exactly. They are, as the research nicely puts it, often battle-scarred from those previous online ventures.
And understanding that background, that history, is really key to understanding their mindset now, isn't it? Their motivations, their skepticism, but also their hopes.
Absolutely crucial context.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. To summarize, it really seems that many people now exploring new online income opportunities like MLGS have this significant backstory. They've tried and often struggled with popular methods like affiliate marketing, drop shipping, various MLMs.
Right. The usual suspects, you could say.
And these setbacks, they often boil down to, well, unrealistic expectations maybe, lacking the essential skills or knowledge, or just that fundamental problem of not having an audience, not having leads.
That sums it up pretty well. They've navigated this complex online world full of genuine opportunities, but also, let's face it, a lot of hype and misleading claims.
And many have, unfortunately, experienced more of the frustration than the success.
It seems that way for this group, yes.
And look, if you're listening to this and any of these past struggles sound familiar, maybe you've been there yourself.
Yeah.
It's really important to recognize that understanding why those attempts didn't pan out is actually a crucial first step.
Absolutely. It allows you to approach whatever you try next with maybe a more informed, certainly a more realistic perspective.
Learning from those experiences, even the tough ones, it gives you invaluable insights, doesn't it?
It really does. It can help you spot potential pitfalls next time, make smarter choices moving forward, avoid repeating the same mistakes.
So, thinking about all these common hurdles we've discussed, the hype versus reality, the skills gap, the big audience problem, what would you say, just as a final thought, what's maybe the single most critical element needed for success in pretty much any online business venture?
Ooh, that's a big question. The most critical element.
Yeah, definitely something worth pondering, isn't it, for anyone listening who's trying to make this online thing work?
Indeed it is. It's a question that anyone serious about building something sustainable online should probably keep asking themselves. What's truly essential?